Hello everyone. I've been having issues with my Mazda5 while accelerating when the engine is cold, especially when I'm steering towards right. The vibration is pretty severe. So I followed a few posts and I ended up looking at the engine mount under the engine and on the passenger side, but they're both good. And the third one is here. Nobody talks about this one. It is under the battery box and computer, and of course you have to remove the air filter. It's pretty deep in there. I hear that service departments are asking for $800. This is the broken part. You can see the crack here. In my case, the car was vibrating at on the passenger side at low speeds when turning to the right most. This is the new part. I had to buy it from the dealer. It was about $90. Couldn't find it in a store. Nobody carries this, or I had to order it and wait many days. This is the top of the transmission, and the mount screw goes on top of this bracket. There is the engine mount in place, and this is the big bolt that goes into it. That's a 17mm probably. Okay. Here is a 17mm bolt now tightened. The engine is supported by a jack, and now would be a good time to take the jack out to let the engine hang before attaching the bracket. Here's the jack supporting the engine. I'm going to take it out and let the engine hang. Here is the bracket that sits on top of it. These two rubber grommets are the places that hold the cleaner box. So here's the bracket with the nuts in 17mm 4 nuts, 1, 2, and in front here 3 and 4. They were tightened very well, and 2 10mm screws. They're probably holding the fender together with the rest of the chassis. All right, there is one more screw right here onto this bracket that holds this cable bundle. And put together one. Okay, so on top of all that, you'll have the battery box that will cover your top of the transmission and the engine brake booster. I hope I never have to change that. There it is, and it has attached to it what seems to be at least part of the computer. So when I open it, I had to cut this zip tie that was holding, I believe there was the plus wire from the battery. Now I'll have to put it all back, and 3 screws hold this together on the bottom, and then we'll go from there. These are the 10mm screws that go in the bottom of the battery box. They have pretty big washers. 2 of them are already in. And now we're going to put a third one in. Fancy connector. They have these white holders that slide. Actually, they don't slide. They rotate up to release. Then they rotate down to lock in place. There you go. Like so. Here is the connector in. They go in very easy. Slide that white locker down, and they're in place. Okay, next step. I'm going to put the battery in. Okay, the battery is now in place. Always connect the positive first, and then the negative. And then just replace the covers, and then we'll get to the air cleaner here. Cleaner box. It's really held in by these 2 plastic mounts that go into those 2 rubber holes in the bracket that we put in place on top of the engine mount. Okay, the engine air cleaner box is in place. I need to replace this rubber outlet that holds it in place there. And now the filter is in place. This is the cover with the very important airflow meter connector. Let's not forget that. It's held in place by this collar that goes onto the air intake here. And the 4 clamps, 1 is in the corner, oriented to the front of the car. 2, 3, and 4. All done. Air cleaner in place. The airflow meter connector in place. All we have to do is to put this battery repair feeder. Sorry for the picture. That goes inside the body cover. And we should start it and see how it's going. Zoom zoom.